All right, here we go. Bostonian Reviews. Let's quickly just talk about ChatGPT because I have been able to use it, and I just want to give you my initial thoughts. I don't know if I've used it, long enough to really give a solid performance review. But some of the things that I ran into, well, I think were a little bit. I don't know if they're troubling, but like the fact that you can't go really too deep as far as the conversations you're designing, I do think it's kind of problematic. And so let's just go over real quick. So ChatGPT is obviously the AI chat kind of conversation thing. And you can input like pretty complicated questions and get a response. And so, I make films and I wanted to just kind of ask it to, give or present it a couple of scenarios and then see if it could break it down into like story ideas or whatever. And what I'm interested in right now is just like journal entries, really building something that is designed for social media and stuff like that, that can enhance a story. And so I started asking it, okay, journal entries for this type, like journal entries for a paranoid man or something like that. And it would do that. It would do, a journal entry for a paranoid man. But then you start getting into like, I don't know, maybe some government things where you're kind of like, well, give me a journal for like an FBI agent who's chasing a criminal or something like that. And then it immediately says, we can't do that for safety and it's dangerous and stuff. It's like, man, is this really safe, dangerous and unsafe? It's just like, we're just having fun here. Now I can see maybe, 2 years from now, somebody's in the court of law blaming, AI chat systems for giving them an idea to, follow through with a crime or something like that. So like, I would understand that you'd want some barriers and stuff. But again, it just seemed like there's just something underneath this program that is based on like fear, I think. So it's not, in my opinion, it's not fully AI. Like I was excited to use it and it's just like, oh, well, this isn't really, I was hoping that it would really be using data collection, which is weird to say, to draw answers in like a sincere, truthful way. And unfortunately, I've just found so many barriers to very simple questions. I mean, I even was like, hey, let's do a journal of like someone who's been an OnlyFans girl for like 3 years, and she's feeling kind of like exploited, or she's not feeling. And again, it just comes back like, we don't want to do that. I'm like, really? We can't just get into the psychology of like today's marketplace and like what people are doing for money and like how it might affect them 2 years or 3 years into doing it. I was like, that's not very, it just wasn't fun, and something, look, people are using this in different ways and maybe to help them write a paper or, that are less scandalous topics, I guess you could say. I don't know. But I mean, if you're in a, I almost said social studies, but if you're in like a sociology class or something like that, that might be a subject of interest for you, is to be able to take perhaps some interviews or something like that of these kind of new jobs that have been created through technology and like see what they really think, like there's so many, I think even TikTokers right now who go viral. They have 2.8 million followers and then all of a sudden they feel like they may have gotten into something that they didn't want to get into necessarily. Like they didn't know what it was going to be, to have that many followers and that responsibility now to be making 4, 5, 6, 7 videos a day. And that becomes their life. And, the nasty comments and the nice comments and all that stuff. And like, people don't really understand what they're getting into with that kind of like popularity and stuff. And I think that's an interesting subject to explore. And the fact that technology is just kind of basically babysitting that kind of stuff, I think, I mean, if you're going real deep, like if you're like, hey, how can I commit a murder or something? It's like, yeah, let's take it back, you know. But again, the thing that sucks about this kind of stuff is like you might be like the next Edgar Allan Poe, and you just want like maybe a couple ideas, and you're saying, oh, well, what would make a great short story? Now, one way beyond this I found is that if you say short film of such and such, like if you like I said, if the FBI agent's following a criminal or something, like you might be able to say, hey, short script about an FBI, and then it will be more willing to kind of give you like a plot breakdown and stuff like that. So I do recognize that as well. You can word things differently to get what you want. Anything related to, I don't know, it's just it gave me one great idea. It was like, you know, I was like, hey, can you just do a horror film in like one room, in like the bathroom? And it did go over like this woman who was in the bathtub, and then, you know, she can't move, and then all this kind of stuff. And if, as a director, if you were to go through with that idea, I actually think it would be pretty good body horror, like paranoid, like body horror. So, so there are some good things about it, but as much as I'd use this, I don't really know. Like I will continue to experiment with it and stuff, but as of right now, ChatGPT, as much hype around it as it was getting, I got to tell you, I was disappointed. So I'd put this in a, you know, I'll put this as a 7.1 because I do see the potential of it. But I'd hate to even say that, you know, like when you log in, especially through Google, like there's so much information and data collection on you, whether you like to admit it or not, that the Chat GPT should be able to recognize behavioral consistency, to know that if you're asking a question, it's not to carry out the act or something. But again, I can't even believe I'm saying that because, you know, I don't know. So that's my review. It's a 7.1 because I see the potential of it. But again, I mean, I was bored with it pretty quickly. So, so that's it. All right. Thank you.